Hello, my Virgo intuitors. Thank you so much for stopping by to watch your reading from now till the end of the year. This is for December 15th through the 31st. Now, I encourage you to watch your Sun, Moon, and Rising because you not everybody may resonate with this particular reading, but maybe one of the other ones you will. This one in particular has some very distinctive characteristics to it that is probably not everyone's situation, and yet we're going to dive right into it because there are some people out here who do need to hear this message, and so here we go. The first thing I've done is I've laid out a little set of Lenormand cards that are giving us a really specific picture of what's going on, and then we're going to take a look at some tarot cards that will give us some more information about the situation that is at hand. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. Try to put a good, let me try, I'm trying to get the right lighting on these cards. That's too much. All right, we'll go with that. So I appreciate your patience. I'm trying to record these videos without having to edit them because it just takes a lot more time, and I don't have as much time for you doing the readings when I'm spending too much time editing videos. So here we go. So this is a very interesting spread here. The first two cards are the Cross and the Crossroads, or the Road. And the Road, of course, is one that's divided, so it always indicates a decision that needs to be made. It also emphasizes the fact that we have free will choice, and that, you know, regardless of sometimes when we might feel trapped or we might feel like we don't have a choice in a situation, we actually always do. It's just that it could be that that choice that we need to make is such a challenging or tough choice that, you know, we might be avoiding it or feeling like we don't have a choice. But in any case, there is a big decision that needs to be made, and these other cards are going to be showing us why. The Fox and the Heart is not a very encouraging combination. In fact, all of the cards in this spread, as we'll just take a look here, this is a more generally negative card. The Crossroads is neutral, can go either way depending on cards around it. The Birds are also neutral, so they can take on the energy of the cards around them. The Heart is actually a neutral card as well because, you know, it can take on either more, you know, very positive situation, or it can take a negative one. And the Fox is generally a negative card as well, although he does have some positive characteristics. If he's paired up, though, in general he's negative, and if he's paired up with other cards that show a negative picture, it's kind of a tough thing going on here, and that's what we see when we have the Fox and the Heart. So the Fox and the Heart is somebody who suggests there's a lover that may be keeping secrets or who's being selfish, and it also is possible that you know, some dishonesty is going on here as well. It can mean, the Fox and the Heart can mean that you're happy with your job, because the Fox is a card that also talks about career and work. So it could be for some of you guys that you have a big decision to make because, you know, and it has something to do with going somewhere in your work situation, or, you know, making a change or a decision regarding your work situation that will ultimately bring you happiness in your work. And, you know, I'm not saying that that's staying put or changing your work situation, but there is just a decision that needs to be made around the work situation. So for those of you where this is about career, there is definitely more of a positive look there. But if it's about a lover, we are looking at a lover who's not being completely honest, and it has kind of the more negative characteristics that are happening here. The Birds in the middle is a card that talks about conversations and going back and forth and communications. It can be text messages and things like that. But it has kind of its more negative side is that it's about being very flighty and scattered and even nervous. If you think about a flock of birds and how they'll, you know, the little slightest disturbance now go fluttering off. That's kind of the, you know, the energy of the birds can be a little you know, hyper and agitated, and so that doesn't really bode well for the overall spread if we're looking at a lover in a love situation with someone who's not being completely honest. And it could be that this, you know, feeling of agitation is coming up in the center because of the fact that they're not, you know, being completely forthright and honest. And you really do have a decision to make in regards to, like, what direction are you going to go in this situation, because you know, everything that's surrounding it is really demanding that you're going to need to make a choice. I mean, you can put it off, but if you keep putting it off for, you know, for too long, you're going to end up having a, you know, it really usually just gets worse. So it is talking about a very important phase of your life. profound transformation can take place. So if you are being paired with someone who right now isn't the most honest, or maybe you're watching this spread, cross-watching, and that's what's happening with this person, is they are paired with someone who's not being really honest in their situation. There's opportunity here for a really good positive change to be made, because release and freedom are now possible. The cross is a card about things being really destined, and it's about a destined path is unfolding. Maybe you feel nervous about making this decision, or they do, but when the decision is finally made, I think this nervousness will settle down. And this is just weighing over here, saying why the decision needs to be made. You or they are paired up with someone who is, really not the best situation in love. It's not the best love situation. Now, I am going to go ahead and read the cards based on this being a love scenario versus a work one. If you do have questions, if you want to post questions below and say, hey, for me it was really more about a work situation that I would like to have, some more clarification on that, go ahead and do that. Or if you have questions about it being a love situation, feel free to post in the comments below, and I'd be more than happy to pull a few extra cards and give you a little bit more of information there. So I'm going to adjust this so we can see the other cards better. I kind of find that these cards get washed out when I can see my other cards, but we work with it. Okay. So I did have these cards fall out, and I am going to just, well, we'll see. We'll just put them out. These came out together. We have the Four of Cups, the Emperor, the Seven of Cups. So we have confusion, and I feel like this confusion is affecting the decision that needs to be made. Understand that this decision is really an important one, but right now there's a lot at stake. There's a lot of, the person who needs to make this decision has a lot of things to consider. It's not an easy decision to make, especially if you're in a love relationship and in a situation of love. But the good thing about the Emperor coming forward is that the Emperor is that guy who can, he really does up and make that decision. He makes the movement. He makes things happen. He doesn't stay stuck. And so he is not going to be standing in this place of confusion and trying to come to a decision forever. I feel like the energy of this situation is being shown here with the Four of Cups. I think that when somebody is kind of at a crossroads and they know it, and they're feeling some unease about it, and they know that they're in a situation in love that's not the best, that this is kind of how they feel about it. There's this Four of Cups, which is, I have this in front of me, these three, but I really don't want them. And what they really want is this one over here that's behind them, and they don't see that, but really it's about going down the path. And I feel like it is a destined path. This person is destined, whether this is you or someone else, is destined to go somewhere else. They're not destined to sit here looking at the cups that are being offered. They're in a love situation right now, but it's not one they want. And they will make that choice. The Emperor shows us that he does make the choice. He does get in there and finally does something about the situation. Yeah, I do see here that somebody is holding on, and I feel like I'm looking here at kind of the two people in the love situation, that someone is holding on. They have been building something. They've been at this for a while. The Three of Pentacles is about having built something in a partnership. But there has been a holding on in the situation that, maybe makes it difficult. The Knight of Wands is also a guy that can be a cheater. And so that, when we see the Fox in the Heart and we have somebody who hasn't been fully honest, it is possible too that there has been something like that going on, but we'll have to see what some other cards show here. If not, then the Knight of Wands is more just talking about, I think this person wants passion as well in their life. And, I will just say again that anytime we have a love situation here where, somebody's making a decision to go in another way and is unhappy, or there's secrets being held, it doesn't necessarily mean that this other person is bad. It's bad news for them. Like they shouldn't be around for it, but it doesn't mean they're necessarily a bad person. So let's get some more information here. Let's just take a look at what might be the outcome here when the person makes this decision, when you or this other person that you're watching for makes that decision. what is going to happen, what is going to take place. I do have the Sun card come up. That's wonderful. I have the Queen of Pentacles, so you could be dealing with, or they could be dealing with somebody who is a Queen of is an Earth sign. You are the Earth sign, so it could be that they're, that's the, if you're watching and it's someone else who's leaving the situation and they're coming they're coming toward you. They may be coming toward you here as the Virgo, but we have the assurance that the change that needs to take place, which is kind of like, I can kind of sense that in this kind of scenario where we have a big decision that needs to be made and someone's not been treating, this other person has not been a good partner for that person. This is kind of how it feels when it's over. When it's finished and someone just gets up and says, I'm done with this, there's a feeling of defeat. There's a feeling of there's been a struggle, there's been a fight about it, possibly a fight about it in that, but the outcome is a Sun. The Sun card does come up here, so I feel like regardless of whatever transpires, that we have a positive result in the end. This is a very, very positive card. We'd love to see the Sun come out and assure us that no matter what, in the end, the best things will take place. So thank you so much for watching my channel, for subscribing and being here. Be sure to click on the little bell below so that when I will be posting a lot of videos. I'll be doing daily, weekly, monthly, yearly overviews and things like that by sign, by groups of signs and whatnot. So, and I really appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you later.